Hey, why don't you have yourself a cup of joe? Grab your notebook and settle in. Today, we're going to talk about your old car that has had it, and even that old container of leftovers in the fridge. Yeah, that has had it too. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 828, Cool and Casual Uses of Have. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Happy English Podcast. I'm your English teacher, Michael, and I'm glad you're here because today we're going to talk about a very small word that's used in a lot of very cool ways in English, and that word is have. Now, I'm sure you know that have can be used for possession, like I have a car, or to talk about experience, like I always have a great time helping you learn English. And of course, for you grammar fans, we have in perfect tenses, like I have seen that movie. But today, I want to go deeper. We're going to look at some natural, everyday expressions with have. Things native speakers say all the time, and you'll sound great using them too. Let's start with a fun one. Sometimes we use have followed by a reflexive pronoun, like have myself, have herself, or have ourselves. It sounds a little old-fashioned or folksy, but people still use it in everyday speech, especially when they're treating themselves to something nice. Like when Mark got home from work, he had himself a glass of wine. We could just say he had a glass of wine, but saying he had himself a glass of wine makes it feel more relaxing, like a reward. And then Lucy had herself a steak dinner to celebrate her promotion. Nice, right? She earned it. And to be honest, I think I'll have myself a quiet evening with a good book tonight. Sounds cozy, doesn't it? Now, here's another use of have that's more serious. When we use have followed by a past participle, like had his wallet stolen or had her suitcase damaged, we're usually talking about a bad experience that someone suffers from. Like, after binge drinking at the frat party, Leo had his stomach pumped. I hope he learned his lesson after that. And poor Frank, he had his wallet stolen on the train. That's rough. My cousin Sam told me that she had her suitcase damaged by the airline. Man, don't you hate when that happens? In each of these cases, something bad happened to the person. They didn't do the action, they experienced it. All right, let's switch gears and talk about a phrase that's super common. Something has had it. If you say, my old car has had it, it means it's totally worn out. It's done. Goodbye, car. It's time for the junkyard. And then it seems that Jenny's Windows XP laptop has had it. I'm sure it's probably time for an upgrade. In the kitchen, that old toaster has had it. It doesn't even brown the bread anymore. So, when an object has had it, it means it's broken or used up or no longer useful. And guess what? You can use this phrase to talk about people too. If a person has had it, it means they're tired, fed up, exhausted. Like, after working overtime all week, I've had it. Dennis said that after 2 days of long meetings, he has had it. Wilma wanted to go to the gym after work, but by the time she got home, she realized she had had it. You can almost imagine Wilma dropping her bag on the floor, flopping on the couch and saying, "Nope, I've had it. No gym for me tonight." And just like people can have had it, so can food or plants, especially when they're in bad shape. Like, it looks like that head of broccoli in the fridge has had it. What a waste. And like, it's been so hot and we haven't had rain in weeks. It looks like my tomato plants have had it. And have you ever seen the hot dogs at the convenience store in the States? Yeah, they've definitely had it. So, if something looks gross or it's wilted or way past its best, it's had it. Next, here's a phrase I'm sure you've heard in movies or TV shows or arguments in the workplace. I've had it with. This means you've reached your limit. You can't tolerate something or someone anymore. Like, I've had it with my stupid boss. I'm going to quit this job. Or, Henry said that he's had it with his noisy neighbors. One more late night party and he's calling the police. Grandma said she's had it with the cold winters in New York. She's gonna move to Florida this year. I've had it. It has an emotional feel, right? It means you're totally done with something or someone. Next up, you can have it in for someone. If someone has it in for you, they really don't like you, and they seem to act mean on purpose. Like when I was in college, there was that one psychology teacher. I'm sure she had it in for me. She never listened to what I had to say or gave me a chance to give my opinion in class. She totally had it in for me. Nowadays, I think my new boss has it in for me. She always gives me the worst jobs. And then I had to confront the boss. I said, "Hey, do you have it in for me or something? Why are you always criticizing my work?" She had it in for me. This one is kind of intense, but useful. All right, that was a whole bag of expressions with the word have. From relaxing with a glass of wine to throwing out a gross hot dog to yelling at your boss. Have is doing a lot of work in English. Which one was your favorite today? By the way, the best way to remember English like this, and any other word or phrase in English, is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. And let me say this, you can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends, join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 828. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.